Let me start out here. What's happening, YouTube? Yeah, I'm back at it again. Coming at y'all about patience. Patience. That there is one thing that in most cases you're taught as you're younger. Or at least some people will be on it. You know what I mean? Patience. It's important. You know what I'm saying? Like it's important because everything isn't although like us being, you know what I'm saying, especially black people, especially coming from most of us have come from nothing, you know. So when we get in a position to be able to grasp a hold of something, you know what I'm saying, that we never had before, we can kind of tend to want it right then and there, you know what I'm saying? But in this world, everything is not meant to be quick and fast. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to. I feel like you have two types of games. You know what I'm saying? Like it's some things are the short game and quick and fast, and but a lot more times than most, it's a long game, a waiting game, patient game. You know what I'm saying? Is when patience come into play. You know what I'm saying? And coming from nothing for the most part, of course, like we'll want it. You know what I'm saying? Right then and there. I'm just like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like that. I be wanting something right then and there. But I do understand the fact that everything is not like that. Some things are a long game. You know what I'm saying? For example, like one main thing, take credit, for example, right? It's a long game. It's a long game. I keep it real. The highest my credit ever been was like a 670, 680, something like that. You know what I'm saying? When I was truly just on it like that. You know what I'm saying? When I was on it, making sure I do everything and but I got a whole lot to do anyway. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, try to focus on my credit and everything like that. You know, I got up to like a 680. Took me time to get there though. Took like a good year or so. And coming from like a five, maybe 25, 40, something like that. You know what I'm saying? Got to the point to where I was like, man, because I see the way that game is played. I see how it's played. And although it's fucked up, the reality of it is fucked up. That there's one reason why at that point in time I had to stop fucking with it. Because it's like you can't win for losing. Although you get done in, but there's the only thing that'll get your credit up is by actually fucking with it. You know what I'm saying? And having patience and having the patience to sit there and do things, whether it's a positive or negative effect, you know what I'm saying, and continue to stick with it, you know? Like and for the most part I'm not like that because I'm kind of like I like things to be perfect, you know. If I'm doing something, I like things to be, I want them perfect, plain and simple. Whether I'm painting the car, whether I'm welding, whether I'm doing anything like that, I want it perfect. I want it the way I want it to be, and I want it done at the time frame that I want it to be at, which is usually pretty quick. You know what I'm saying? And I've always left myself in that mind frame. You know what I'm saying? Like you can still get good quality at a fast pace, but at the same time, although you can, but it's better if you take your time and be patient. You know what I'm saying? Be patient because you'll mess around and see something that you probably wouldn't have seen if you were trying to beat the time that you're used to doing. Some shit like that. That's just trying to beat the time that you're used to doing. But credit is a long game. It's like that with a lot of other things, especially things with the way it works in the world. It takes patience to be able to learn to deal with this shit. You feel what I'm saying? Deal with this real life shit. And although I don't agree, for the most part, it's still a game that we have to play. You know what I'm saying? That can be used as an example for patience. And that, like I say, that's just one thing. When it comes to children, life in general, things that you're trying to accomplish and anything like that, because you can get things in your way that you want to have right then and there. You know what I'm saying? And just because you want it right then and there, you can fuck around and make a mistake because you want it right now. Like, I've never seen a person who has gotten, whereas I say it's rare. It's rare that I see a person, like, say, get a substantial amount of money or something like that, right? Just out the blue for whatever reason, and they use it to their advantage. Usually, most of those people go broke because they got it so quick. Didn't have to work too hard for it. Usually, people will, I've said that before too, though. Usually, people appreciate something more when they have to work for it versus something just being given to them. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's how boats, like the boats, the casinos, shit like that, that's how they thrive. Because people ain't gonna keep coming and shit like that if they're just giving it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they're not winning. You know what I'm saying? If you're not winning in a boat, shit like that, motherfuckers ain't gonna keep on coming. They have to let somebody win. Somebody has to win. You know what I'm saying? Somebody has to win every now and then. Somebody got to win big every now and then. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like they give that to people who they know that are gonna come back and try it again, try to do it again, and in the midst of doing that, end up losing everything that they gained. Instead of taking a win and getting the fuck on and go do something better for their life. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's starting a business or starting something solid versus trying to get this shit that same way again. Because that's easy. You know what I'm saying? Although it's not easy to happen, and it rarely ever happens, but it does happen. But I feel like it only happens to people who gonna bring the shit right back. They gonna take it right back to them. You know what I'm saying? Me, I can't work like that. I ain't never really ever won at the boat. The most I ever hit at the boat was about like 400 off of $40. Like one of the first few times I ever been to the boat. I ain't really ever hit shit since then. That's why I don't go. Because I know if I hit me a lick, then I'm gonna use that shit. I feel like they know that shit too. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna use it. I got too much going on. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna use that shit and I'm gonna come up off of that. 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, shit like that. You know what I'm saying? All that money in your pocket just off the rip instantly. Boom. You know what I'm saying? And you already, for the most part, ain't got nothing when it come down to most of us. So what are you gonna do? You gonna start that shit. You gonna start splurging. 100,000, 200,000, shit like that, and they end up going broke or getting drunk too much or getting high too much, some shit like that, and fuck around and fall the fuck off because they don't have patience and understand that you need to take your time after you hit that shit and understanding that point when it come down to it. If you ever hit on some shit like that, take your time. Don't ever just because that shit ain't just given out like that. You know what I'm saying? You probably one of the few million. You know what I'm saying? So no, you need to take your time and use that shit to your advantage to better you, to help you throughout the rest of your life, because it can be done. They just try to make things look like it can't be, or it's harder to. Like you always have to get money. You always gotta continue to get more, continue to try to, okay, you done won this already, so keep on throwing more at it, you'll win some more. Shit, I be damn. Have you ever seen that shit? Have anybody ever seen somebody win some money at the boat or anything, casino, some shit like that, and just continue, keep on going and using that same shit and the shit just keep growing? I ain't never seen it. But shit. Patience. We gotta learn to play the long game, because this game that we are playing is a long game. They ask you in jobs, most of the time I've been saying that a lot. You know what I'm saying? Most people ask about where do you see yourself in the next 5 years. Well, other people see themselves like 10, 15, 20 years later. Where you see yourself then? 10, 15, 20 years later, where you see yourself then? Not the next 5 years. Where you see yourself the next 10, 15, 20 years. You know what I'm saying? What are you going to be doing? What are your plans? What are you planning on doing? What you plan on doing for your people? What you plan on doing for your children? What you plan on doing for yourself? If you were given something off the rip, what would you do? If you were given, just say $50,000 today, what would you do with it? Would you be like anybody else, just start buying shit that you never had? You know what I'm saying? And end up having to sell it or give it all back because you didn't use that shit smart. You didn't think. You didn't be patient and use that shit wisely. Or would you actually build something that can profit you for the rest of your life? That's real shit. Patience is real. I'm very impatient. Very. Like I say, I have to force myself to be a more patient individual and understand the way that things work. When we understand the way that things work, like understanding that can help you further along in life. You know what I'm saying? Because you plan for the future, not just for today. Not just because you want to be flashy or because you want to be, you know what I'm saying, it's something that you wanted that you always never was able to have, never thought you'd be able to have, so you go get it. And that's all good, you know what I'm saying? After you do what it is that you need to do. Create that to where you can, like, and all, that's all of that, like passive income and all kind of shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Think about that first. Think about a way to continue getting that amount of money versus just getting that one amount of money and start splurging. Because money ain't shit nowadays. Money is not shit. I spent a lot of my time being that younger. I'm telling you, fresh out of high school. Like, from my real talk, fresh out of high school, my first 2 years in high school, and I'm just using me for example because it's perfect. First 2 years in high school, I made like 90,000. First 2 years out of high school, I made like $90,000. No bullshit. 2 years, $90,000, and blew it all, and continued to make money. Wasn't making it just that good, you know what I'm saying? But money always been good. 'Cause I always been skillful. I just push my own button. Hey, it is what it is. But at the same time, yeah, I always been skillful, and I always been able to make that money. You know what I'm saying? But I was impatient. I wanted things now. I didn't think about what by the time I got to the age of 34, you know what I'm saying, what would I be doing? You know what I'm saying? Still trying to do what it is that I need to do nowadays when I done made enough money for me to be able to sit in the fuck up right now. That was just 2 years. $90,000. But it's all good. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I get it. I wish I had did things better, but at the same time, hey, it is what it is. You can't go back. But we got to learn that. If I had knew that shit back then and if I knew it and truly applied it back then, I could have done a whole lot more for my life. I could be retired now. Although I'm not the type of individual to stop doing anything. Like I can be growing, bro. But now I'm trying to do that now in life, older in life. You know what I'm saying? But my life is shorter now. 34 years old. I was like 19 when I did that shit. 19, 20. You feel what I'm saying? I'm telling you, like everything that I wanted, it did not matter. Anything that I wanted, yeah, I was going to get. You know what I'm saying? I remember dropping out on watches, clothes, all kind of shit, nigga. Motherfucking $100 fucking shirts, $140 pants, shit like that. You know what I'm saying? All kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? Just blowing my games and shit for my car, and then anything I wanted, I was going to get. I wasn't thinking about no house, no building, no house, no future, no land, no businesses. No, although I always had a business mind and always knew that I would own my own business, but I wasn't applying it like that. I had a few things that I wanted to do, like that old rollercade. My old rollercade used to be over there. You know, it's some other building now. You know, so I used to look at that all the time. 'Cause I wanted a club. That's what I wanted. I wanted that to be a club. You know what I'm saying? But that shit was a whole lot harder than what I thought that it would be, or maybe I just made it harder than what it actually is. Because I wanted things right then and there. I didn't understand something like that would be a long game. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you need to realize that we gotta be patient. You know what I'm saying? So now I stay patient. Play the long game. Still got my short games and shit like that I play, but at the same time play the long game because it plays out a whole lot more. It pays a whole lot more on down the line. Your future is important. You know what I'm saying? And I just had to holler at y'all for a second. You know what I'm saying? It's Charles Madden, you know what I'm saying? Down here at the shop where the shit does not stop. You know what I'm saying? I-20 East Podcast. I love y'all and salute.